Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and today we are going to be doing the Alteration review for the Alus Earthree Gundam. So this is going to be a shooting based part that we have not seen for the past few weeks. So it's quite refreshing to see another shooting based unit. So let's kind of get started. I do want to do a quick few pointers before I do actually hop in. So this overall unit, all these 6 parts does not have access to link attribute. So right off the bat, they are going to be inferior to some of your other unit that has link attribute. Like if we take a look at the list, like Strike Noir, High New, Strike Freedom, the Wing Gundam Zero Endless version, and etc. So anything that has, yes, they do already have an additional 6% attached onto them if they meet the following requirement to your link attribute. So not to say that is bad. I think Alus Earthree definitely does make a good sub partner to anything that has commander related, Asus related. We have yet to see another part that is big scale oriented to have these two tag combined, so we would definitely have to wait to see. And oh yeah, commander is definitely another huge plus from this overall kit. This is because we haven't had anything that is commander related for quite some time, so that's good. So this one overall I would say is very good for sub slot battery only, right? Just because no link attribute and whatnot. So this is the stat distribution that I like to see on purely oriented to a specific shooting base, because this one is a strictly shooting base oriented, so I do not need to see anything that's high melee stats, high melee defensive side. I don't need none of that. So this one is good. High armor, high shot attack, high shot defense. That's all I care about. So as support trade, not so much. I feel like we have this variation already in numerous sports. Namely, we have it on the Strike Freedom, so only 5% difference on the initial charge. So I don't see a whole lot of differences. So if you guys have invested into the Strike Freedom already, that's totally fine already. It's just this one slightly edges us out because this one does have commander. That is the only thing. But if you guys have not pulled any of the other top tier head part as of lately, this is definitely a great one to invest into because you're pretty much satisfied a few things already. You have initial charge. Right out the bat, you are starting out at 20%. So this is quite busted in my honest opinion. So if you guys were able to get the head part, happy out badges for it. This is definitely something to look forward into investing into it because it's actually quite good. And moving over to the torso, yes, you see that the torso or any of the pieces that you will see in the next following minutes have some of the highest stats possible currently. So completely beating out the 30th anniversary new Gundam FF. Speaking of the torso, we have the really good stat distribution, high armor, high shot base attack, and then high shot defense. So that is what we like to see. Bare minimum melee attacks, that's totally fine because this is not meant to be a dual type build whatnot. In terms of attack with this one, we have ace exclusive and then for space, so not particularly the best option in my take. I don't even think we have anything that's for space oriented, so the only other option is to pair that up to something that has ace exclusive and then you're good. Portrait wise, this is purely going to be for defensive type usability because you have that enemy EXQ penetration reduced by 100%. So this could be very strong because I believe correctly we do have a few of these already. I believe the highest variation so far has 2 of the same portrait, should be the Gundam XX shield port. So in combination, this one plus those 2, you're rocking up to 280%. So I think in terms of speaking of a defensive type, I think that from what people tested out is able to mitigate some damage overall, so it could be good. I personally have not really tested it myself to a full extent, so I cannot really give my remarks onto that, but it should be something that kind of help you out as far as like a specific tank build. Secondary trait, simply to revive. So I think revive, we have seen it in numerous kind of portrait combination. This one is not bad, but the best one probably is the one that gives you revive and let's say power reduce. I think that is definitely the most powerful iteration. That it should be within the EXS Gundam that came out prior to the new Gundam FF banner. So that one is still holding up pretty strong. It's just this one, I just can't really validate how strong this one is at this current time, so I can't really state anymore. But armor, yeah, definitely really good for a tank build at all. But this one may not be the highest priority in terms of alteration, just because we have seen that in numerous situations. Fine within any other part of the body, like I think arm has it, head part may not have it. So I think it's the torso and the arm that has it, and maybe the leg. There could be some more places that I'm forgetting, but long story short, that is not the most prioritized kind of portrait. Just revive it could be fulfilled from any other slots. So in terms of this one, the arm definitely does have some pretty good base. Yeah, definitely have some pretty good base shot attack. This one does has some pretty good shot defense as well. So that's why this one's currently one of the highest one thus far. EX skill, perfect shot. So the perfect in its name is definitely no slouch. This one is giving out a ton of effects. Like, what is this? Triple S and all those effects. What is it? Raises speed by 20%, HP recovery by 58%. 59% shot attack up. What is it? What's next? Melee and shot defense up by 39%. Increases your burning capacity by 25%, and also non-flinching for a set period of time. But here is the most important but part. The first time usage is a ridiculously 40 seconds. So what does that mean? So if you're taking a look at it, initially it's 60 seconds. You have to wait a whole minute. So in order to kind of bypass this one, here's a few solution. You're gonna need a few of these traits right here, the initial charge. So I think when we're looking at something that's at least 60 seconds plus, I think you need at least 50% if I remember correctly. So you're gonna need 2 of these. So that is ridiculous. So although it might come with a whole bunch of power, but in terms of how people can, instantly use it, you gotta wait a whole minute. So yeah, this one may not be user friendly right out the bat, so I don't know. But if you guys are able to fulfill the 50+% initial charge boosted, then you are rewarded with a bunch of really utility based effects. So that's not bad. Triple S max out, so this one is going places for sure. And from what people have been saying throughout, this one is not an awakenable, so you are going to be able to change that to any other awakenable EX skill, so that is good. The arm has some pretty good aesthetics overall. I think it's a simple design that you can kind of fit into any custom build as well. So yeah, the arm part does have a lot of good positive, while the only negative is just the initial charge is so long. So if you can fulfill that, you are golden. So arm part, I don't think it needs the alteration because it should be hitting, what does it hit initially? Oh, it's only A. Max out is the A minus or S minus, but that requires a whole lot of investment. So alterating it does makes it easier in order to proc that SS minus or SS plus. So yeah, I'll definitely give the L badges to the arm as well, just because of that ridiculous effects. It's definitely going to be pretty useful in the long term as well. So moving over to the legs, let's see what we are rocking. So high armor once again, pretty low base shot attack actually, if I want to say so myself, but shot defense definitely carrying it, so not bad. Ace exclusive and then commander, nice. That is what we love to see. So as far as the leg part, is it going to be anything too special? Actually, yes, I would definitely remark this one to be a very excellent legs portrait here, because I think this is probably our first time, probably mentioned it already, probably our first time having the introduction of initial EXK charge on the legs themselves. So that is actually quite good, and you're also going to be having some EXQ cooldown reduced as well when you have command attack active. So I think this is overall pretty good. Definitely a nice addition overall. And if you're starting out at portrait level 1, you're still getting some pretty immense utility out of them already. 15% initial charge and 15% for the EXQ cooldown already. So this one, if you do like a few portrait level investment, you are already golden. So I think this one certainly does deserve the alteration, because we normally don't see initial charge on the legs. So I think moving forward we will be seeing a lot of these. If it's not on the secondary trait, so you don't have to immediately alterate them, so you can just kind of use it at will. But this one does need alteration, and this one I would gladly give it as well if you do not have any of the initial charge on any of the other slot. If you do, simply just run this one as the initial EXQ for the time being, right? Because it's 15% right off the bat, so it's not going to be anything that's bad. It's just this one. Now, maybe you have feel through that on any other slot. You have 25%, 30% already. This is not really needed, except for the fact that Trigger this one may have the may need it for sure, but after that, if you can fulfill that already, I do not see a point into altering the leg, except for, first of all, the stats you want it for the stat overall. I think that should be why you want to alterate it. But let's move over to the back part, see what's going on. So once again, high armor, and then pretty high shot defense as well for sure, and then pretty good offensive as well. So that's why we're in the top 3 this far right now. So actually pretty good. As far as the portrait, is actually not that bad. The only thing that I would complain right at the bat is the 5 seconds pass. Like, who does that? Like, why would it design something like that? It makes no sense, because this one pretty much invalidate using it in arena specifically, because in terms of arena, you want to be finishing within the first second. So you want to be finishing your timer 4 minutes and 57 seconds as a optimal meta timeline. But this one, 5 seconds is not good. Just on arena is not good. But if you talk about any other places, 5 seconds is like 1 second. You won't even notice it being passed. So this one is good. Definitely pretty good if you do not have already better, let's say, back part. I really don't think we have a lot of good back part. I think I am looking at one right out of the bat, the Fenicia Liberta, but this one requires a little bit more, I guess, a strategic build around it. While this one does not really. You pop a range weapon that is a rifle category, you pop the 5 seconds, you're in. Pretty good. Nearly the same thing. Oh, what did I put? 5 should be a percentage, excuse me. But yeah, this one's pretty much the same thing. I think the damage trade overall, we have been getting a fair amount done already, so getting this is not a bad option. But yeah, that 5 seconds could kind of trigger people, especially in arena. It's just not going to proctor as well. And this one does have commander, so I do highly value this one over some of the other one. And do we have anything that is, let's say, commander and ace exclusive at the same time? We don't. We have reborns, but that one is kind of dated from now. So we do have this one, but not to the full extent of, let's say, having let's say ace exclusive and then commander at the same time, unfortunately. So kind of a bummer, right? And then last but not least, we have the range weapon. So range weapon wise, it's gonna be on the EXQ base, so I can't really talk too much about this one. This one simply is pretty much gonna be the stats, right? This one does not really, I don't know where this one could fall into. I think this one can just make a good sub-slot battery, right? I don't really see a whole point into running this one on main slots, because you're not getting the link attribute to begin with. And then yeah, so this one I would say go for the alteration if you really want a strong kind of a sub-slot partner, because you are giving out a whole lot of stat right here, right? 1500 or 15k for the base shot attack and pretty good defense, so that should be good. But in terms of the prioritizing, let's say in a perfect situation you are able to get everything, just not enough out badges, I would definitely say the head part must go first. I'll take that back. Arm must go first, because having a non-awakenable shooting base EX skill is it's a rare feat. So I will definitely go for that first. And then head part, definitely not too bad. And then going for the legs. Back part, I would say go for the 4, because we do have, you know, semi better options out there. It's just that 5 seconds do kind of trigger me a little bit, so I am placing it a little bit lower. And then torso will probably come in at 5th, and then following that by the ranged weapon. So I think that's pretty much the order that I will be placing them in a way. But other than that, do let me know how was your pull, if you guys did pull on the Alus Earthree Gundam banner here. I think this is maybe something that people go for, but maybe not because it's still Earth-3 design. But other than that, until next time when we get a completely brand new unit, that should be quite interesting to see. But other than that, that's going to be pretty much for me, and then I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.